again. True Blue Thai coming from Thailand. I just want to welcome you back to me and to my channel. Or I'm calling it that. For instance, yeah. So, for instance, welcome back to Thailand. If you don't know me, I'm True Blue Thai. I'm, for instance, a Mancunian born in Manchester, whatever. Like, I've lived overseas most of my adult life. Irish-born parents, etc. But for instance, but I've lived, say, for instance, many different countries. And I find myself in Thailand. I've always been a Manchester City fan. For instance, been following Man City ever since the 1970s. Been going to the games, seeing us wearing the likes of Joe Corrigan, Colin Bell, Francis Lee, Mike Zornby, for instance. For instance, and seeing the ups and the downs of our football club. So yeah, and now I'm here in Thailand, and I like talking Manchester City. For instance, it's just typical. I just did this, and I just thought it would hold for the next 20 minutes, but no. Okay, and here I find myself in Thailand, and for instance, and been here for 3 years. Still like talking about Manchester City, and I'm an old man now, for instance, and I keep saying this, and what happens is I turn 60 this year, as you probably can see, but no. What happened was, for instance, for instance, I listen to a lot of channels, a lot of city vlogs, and listen to Lewis and Johnny and for instance Martin, etc. For instance, and where they ask you to comment, and then you have to write little comments, etc. For instance, sometimes it gets missed. A lot of times, for instance, you just can't say what you want to say. And sometimes I just want to sit there and have a conversation with people, for instance, about about your football club, and about saying, this is how I really feel, and I can't just write it. I'm not one of these little texters. I can't do this with a telephone. I just can't. So I've got to come out and say what I have to say, for instance, and express it and support my football team, because I want to support them and back them, especially at this time of the year, for instance, or this time where we're not doing too good at the moment, for instance, and on a bit of a runner, and they're running a bit down. So, for instance, I just want to, big up to the football team and say, for instance, and say that we're here because Man City have got a massive backing in Thailand and things, and Southeast Asia is really big on Man City at the moment, and it's great to see. Anyway, so for instance, and so I just want to have a quick chat about football, whether you agree with me, disagree with me. I am not a negative person about Man City. I don't want to talk bad about the football club. I don't think it's my job to do so, unless it's warranted. For instance, but other than that, for instance, I've been, I said I've been through the good times and the bad times, and of the football club, and for instance, and I've always been a happy, and like Ian Gisman says, it's always great being a Blue. It always has been. I've loved it every minute. It's my longest relationships, and believe you me, I've had quite a few. Different women, different countries. Yeah, it's the only one who stood the test of time, etc. Is my love for the football club, and it's bad, and it means a lot to me. Anyway, so for instance, and here I am talking to you about the football club and everything, and for instance, and I just want to, time flies. What's it called? Have a chat about tomorrow's game, and it's because it's Friday afternoon here in Thailand, 3 o'clock, probably around about 7 o'clock now in the UK. Maybe 8 o'clock, no, 6 o'clock, 2 o'clock. So it's 7 o'clock in the UK. For instance, the clock's gone forward. Be midnight 30 kickoff, etc. for me. So often, which is not going to be great. What's it called? But it is what it is. For instance, normally an 8 p.m. kickoff is normally a 3 a.m. and start. So what's it called? Yeah, just add to my beauty. But it's just what it is. Anyway, so I've done a bit of research and had a look at a few things. And again, the previous video I did was more of a positive video vibes of listening to looking at the bigger picture, looking at everything, etc. And stop, in this pep out nonsense and get rid of him and sack him. And honestly, for instance, some of these overreactors do, for instance, it just does not help at all. For instance, Man City lose one game in 32 games, etc. And people just implode in Spain, you know, like in the Premier League. We didn't want to be part. Didn't want the League Cup. We'd really, you know, so for instance, even though we could have got a draw, or even a win, for instance, if against Spurs, because they weren't that great. Spurs, they considered the most six richest club in Europe. For instance, and Spurs were always going to be that at the moment until they changed the chairman, Levy disappears. Anyway, so but my for instance, and the Bournemouth game, etc., was a one-off. You know, like, I'm sorry, the first time we lost to Bournemouth ever. You know, and first time in 19 games, was it? You know, my God. And but did Bournemouth deserve to win? Yeah, they did. What's the goal? Because we're not taking our chances and we're not doing what we need to be doing, etc. For instance, and that's what Man City are not doing. We're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. So, for instance, we're taking our chances. So yeah, and so it is what it is. Anyway, so I'm for instance, I think Man City, we took the chances like we did against Sporting Lisbon in the first half, where I thought we played fantastic against Sporting Lisbon. You know, and that crowd was quiet in the first 45 minutes, and Phil Foden put the ball in the back of the net. He's looking better. He's going back to his best now. For instance, I'm sure he's desperate to get his because he was the player of the season last season and well deserved. And yeah, I'm sure he wants to get back to his, you know, to winning ways and to his form. So, for instance, and we weren't 1-0 up, etc. I thought it was only a matter of time. Anyway, we didn't take our chances. They came back at us and blah blah blah. So it is what it is. And then so of course it looks bad. It's the first to be in the Champions League in God knows how many games. But again, what's it called? The wheels have fallen off. The whole thing, blah blah blah. Pep gone by the media, for instance, especially the British media, and I got a lot of pelters from United fans. But you know, I've been giving it them for for a very long time. It's about time they give me one some back. Yeah. So it's a little sad bleed as they are. Anyway, so for instance, I'm did a bit of research, for instance, on the game tomorrow, for instance, and while I was actually doing the research, it was quite surprising, really, because the uh, the the um, the stats and favoured Manchester City so heavily in this game, which is really strange because Brighton have you know, are a good side, you know, and they're not doing too great, you know, and they are still suffering themselves. They're not, you know, like Brighton are a good team, but for instance, are they going to win? Are they going to get into the Champions League this season? You wouldn't better, you know, say that. You would say that, you know, it's nailed on between Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, and maybe one other Chelsea, maybe. Okay, but you're not going to say Brighton's going to go in there. So they're going to be. Are they going to get in the top six? Possibly. They're at eighth at the moment, etc. A win, and they could go third. What's it called? But again, you know, a long way to go. They've changed the manager. What this guy? His name? What's this guy called now? For instance, I should have said that. Saw his name before. Um, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so for instance, and yeah. Was it Fabian? Uzeri, whatever. I've never heard of him really. Anyway, so Busco, but he's doing well, and they've got a good squad. The likes of Danny Welbeck, etc., is playing very, very well. You know, I think he's got 6 goals this season. And whereas at United, for instance, like most players that would go to United, it was garbage. Anyway, so for instance, and so, but they're not doing that great. For instance, they have what's it called? They say, for instance, they've for instance, they've lost the last two. Yeah, okay, it was against Liverpool, and so you can give them a buy on that one. So, for instance, so any team which loses against Liverpool, for instance, is at the moment, etc., because Liverpool are doing quite well. So at the moment, etc., so they lost against Liverpool 2-1. For instance, they lost in the League Cup 3-2 at Brighton. So, for instance, okay, and then they drew against Wolves. And City B already beaten Wolves, and they lost, beat Newcastle. So, for instance, and Newcastle are a bit indifferent because you really don't know about Newcastle because sometimes they can do well last week against Arsenal, but then against Arsenal's form are not great either. That's what I'm saying. If Man City go on a decent run, for instance, we can really do this with this league easy, hands down. On the treble winning season or the 100-point season, etc., we would have given it back. We would have been worried by Christmas, but it is what it is. But when you look at that and you look at the putting things perspective, yes, we're in a bit of a hole at the moment, but it's not as bad as what people are thinking. So, for instance, if we got some of our players, we got a bit of luck on injuries, then, for instance, you never know. For instance, what could happen for the future. Anyway, so I'm just keeping an eye on the clock, etc. Because I don't want to make these videos too long, etc. Because I know people got things to do. So, going into the game, for instance, they've got a few injuries as well. For instance, somebody said they've also got returning players. Carl Pedro, Matt O'Reilly have a big chance. But Solly March, which I thought was an half-decent player every time I see this player, he's a good player for them. They don't look like he'll be returning. It's too early for him. Yazin Arazari might be an option for the weekend. So, but it's going to be so they've got injuries just like City, for instance. But and I expect them to line up with Bruggen, the goalkeeper, 4-4-2, with Joel Beltman, Jan Paul Van Heeg, Igor Julia Pedra Petunia, whatever. I do apologise, sir, for instance, if I pronounce your name wrong. Oh my god. Ferretti, Carlos, Jack, Jack Hirschwood, Carl, again, Carl, how are you doing, mate? Jorginho up front, etc. in the midfield, and Jorginho, Ruta, and Danny Welbeck up front. So 4-4-2. Will they go play low block against City? Well, everybody does it, and they seem to lock the ball over. And if they're watching Man City's previous games, all they need to do is do it that way. But for some strange reason, I feel Brighton will be a bit more confident in themselves because they can play football and they can pass it round again. So I do believe, for instance, I think they will play against us. So I feel, for instance, Brighton have got more of a good playing style. With saying that, though, for instance, I was actually looking at other things. For instance, their City have got high ball retention and also they're higher. Not what's it called? Not the ball. Passing accuracy. So, which was interesting. These things are very. You can pick up things which you could say that, for instance, of what in what could tip it into either side's balance. I think, for instance, when I was looking at the Bournemouth game, I thought they had a very high shot percentage compared to City. Again, they shoot, for instance, and I thought it could be a difference, and I think it was in the Bournemouth game, but I do they do. I think we're kind of like we got more shots on target, off target, compared to them, for instance. Shots, 50, 67 off target, etc. 60, 48, 68 on target. So, for instance, the game looks like it could be a draw more than anything else, because it kind of like in the it's very with City being the way we are at the moment, etc. And as long as we don't go too, there you go, passing accuracy, 85%, 90% for Manchester City. So, for instance, the stats are very, very similar to each team at the moment. Goals conceded as well. I thought that was a bit of a surprise. Goals conceded, 14 by them, 11 by Man City. Very, very similar. Shots, 98 by 135. So, and it is a very, very, I think it's a very even game. Man City to go over there and get a credible point would be good, but it won't probably break. Other than, like it's again going to Brighton, etc. You know, getting a good point in the way we're playing at the moment, etc. Would probably be a good thing for Man City going into the international break. If we go in and get a loss and having 4 in a row, I think, oh my God, you know, it's not good to go 4 in a row. Not international break with a loss. Getting a point or 3 points, etc., would definitely make things a lot better. What's the goal for the team? And so yeah, but I think, for instance, going into the international break, etc., with a loss, four in a row, etc., will be a crisis thing. Well, won't be. It's not a crisis thing. I'm sure it is, in the grounds of Manchester City, it won't be. In the media and everything, etc. I think Man City fans will just have to keep our heads down a little bit, and hopefully 1-1-5 doesn't actually, because there'll be nothing to talk about. What's the goal apart from the international break, football, etc., which everybody loves, and so that's when normally the 1-1-5 comes into it, and the media will jump on that. So I do believe, for instance, I don't think we can go for a defeat. In my previous video, I've said I'm confident because of the stats overall, and you know the odds have Manchester City favourites. So, for instance, do I feel that, for instance, we can go there and win? As if they don't play a low block, City do protect their defence. I expect the team to be similar, but I'm expecting Edison to be playing. For instance, even if a Cage player, I don't mind Akanji playing, but I'm expecting Edison at the back, Edison to play. I'm expecting, for instance, I think he will play Rico. Walker, no, I think he'll play Walker. For instance, because Walker will have a bit more game time. I think he only had very small game time, even though he looked well out of the pace, off the pace. I think he'll play Walker, and I think he will play Aki Akanji and Guardiola, for instance, at the back. I just hope those guys in the middle, etc., got better from their knocks. Guardiola, absolutely best player so far this season. I'm looking at a midfield of, I think, a midfield of what's it called? Doku on the left, Kevin, Gondwan, and Bernardo. Kevin, Gondwan, and Bernardo. So, Kovacic. Okay, it could go either way. For instance, he could be playing, put Gundogan on the bench, etc., like he did before, like in his boating. For instance, but we need and then put Kevin Kovacic, Nunes is still playing okay. Depends on how Doku did come on and play well last game. So, for instance, and then you've got Nunes he's still playing half decent. So. And then you've got Bernardo, for instance. I think we'll always have Bernardo on the right hand side. Phil and Haaland. Yeah, so for instance, it's and whether we play Nunes, I don't know. I'm not sure. For instance, with Doku, because Doku looks pretty better. I think he looks better on the left hand side than Nunes. Nunes is in good form at the moment. For instance, but to me, for instance, I think it looked like it would be a for instance, I do think it will be five in the centre with Erling up front. So I'm thinking I definitely feel that, for instance, he'll play Doku, Kevin. I think definitely he'll play Kevin. What do you call it? I would like to see him play Phil next to Kevin, but I don't think he will. Kovacic. Why have I seen Kosovo? And I'm going for Phil. Got to play Phil and for instance, Bernardo on the right. I don't want to see Phil on the right and out on the right, for instance. But I just think, for instance, Bernardo. I think what's his name. You've also got, for instance, what's his name? Savio. So, but let's see. So we got options. But early and up front. So it's got to be. It all depends on who's at the moment, etc. I want to see Phil and Kevin together in midfield. I really do, and start. Um, I'm quite happy to even have Bernardo and then thing on the right of us go. But I just want we also need a stronger defence, sorry midfield. So yeah, so I am torn on, for instance, who I'm going to line up. But for instance, I do feel, yeah, we got options a little bit now. For instance, if, uh, if things are not going well, I just think the back four doesn't need to push up as much. I think I would like to see the back four stay around mid halfway line. If we're going to push up, the midfielder's going to push up. I just think, for instance, I think we're leaving ourselves too far open for the counter attack. I can't see them playing a low block. Brighton, I think they'll have the confidence to have a go at Man City, for instance, play 4-4-2. They can plaster the ball around, very good football inside. But we're saying that though, if Manchester City take their chances, and I think they will be chances, and Erling gets an early goal, and if Man City get an early goal, then I think Man City will win it comfortably, 3-1. Can't see us not conceding, but for instance, I just feel that Man City can go there and win, and yeah, and everything will all rosy in the garden. And with Arsenal playing Chelsea, Liverpool playing Villa, we could be sitting pretty back on the Premier League, and nobody else is. What crisis? And then going into the into the international snore with that. So, but let's see. You know, instead it could go either way. You know, with say, but I just feel that, for instance, because they're a footballing side and because they want to play football, then Manchester City, and they're not going to stick 5 men and not have a chance. I think they'll play football. I think the fans will demand to play football, and I think that would be a good opportunity for City to win the game and Hurling to get more chances and to win the game. So yeah, I'm going to go for a 3-1 victory in Manchester City. For instance, again, the stats put down a draw. But I just feel that, for instance, if we take our chances, and again, it's about chances, take the chances, and and don't come up with the injuries. But for instance, and yeah, I got more confidence we can win the game. So if you go into the game, I'll go to you, for instance. I'm quite looking forward to So you listening to you from Thailand, and and we'll speak to you tomorrow maybe or Sunday. Well, just after the game about the review of the game. But I do feel I got confidence for us to go. We can go there and get the 3 points. So okay, this is True Blue Time signing off from Thailand. So catch you next one. Try to cap.